Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Gaming Daddy channel. Today, what I decided to do was I decided to try my hands on the raid, but doing it solo. Now, not like I'm trying to beat the raid solo. I mean, goodness, it's already very difficult for 8-man groups to beat it. But I wanted to go in there and see if I had sufficient DPS or numbers at least to be able to take down enemy NPCs efficiently or proficiently, whatever it is you want to call it. So what I decided to do was I decided to go in with my run-of-the-mill build that basically does like all of this skill damage, and I wanted to see what that would do with enemy NPCs. So I decided to go in and I took my glass cannon build. I took my my Murakami combined arms, in sync harmony build in there. And what was very interesting was the damage was actually sufficient to take down enemy NPCs. So if you look at basically the layers of this raid, what stands out is, you have to be able to, deal with enemy NPCs either by damage dealing or by damage mitigation. When I say damage dealing, I mean you're able to take down an enemy NPC once you focus them. Now, we do know also, I mean, this is basically from a lot of the community building, that these skill builds can kind of put out the same numbers as a full red build. I don't have my full red build here. It's all in my stash, and it's not even really the cleanest, but I can do a full red build that will basically match the kind of damage output from the skill builds. And so if you're going in as a DPS player, you're probably going to be running, not this skill damage deal. Or you could run the skill damage, aspect and still be able to, kind of take out enemy NPCs at different proxies if you're very skilled and proficient with it. But there are some other layers as well where it comes to bosses, where it comes to their health, where it comes to all the other different mechanics that go with it regarding the first boss, the second boss. We're already seeing tutorials come out, so these things are quite interesting to be able to kind of put together. Now, another really cool thing was I was able to get about 60 kills and kind of study the enemy NPC behavior mechanics. It is very RNG the way they behave. So if you're wondering, if you go into dark hours, you're going to see a heavy coming from the left. You're going to see a heavy coming from the right. You're going to see a chopper come down and all that stuff. Perhaps there are sequences from the railway aspect, but I think having, died and started all over and over again, I got to see that there were many, differences in enemy NPC spawns and enemy NPC behavior, because I kind of camped in similar places just to kind of see how they'll behave. And this is me just doing my studying and dipping my toes into this mission. I really do not have right now the time to invest into going into a team and grappling it out. But at the same time, I've mentioned to you guys that I'm still learning the concept, and that's how I'm going to go in, because I want to go into the raid knowledgeable. I know a bunch of guys are going to do the heavy lifting, and I appreciate them for doing that. And that's basically what we're going to see. And that's going to be a good portion of the community. So what I'd recommend is, if you have a group of 2, 3, 4 guys, go in there and start kind of, dipping your toes into it. I know raids are kind of a pain in the butt because the division is more of an incursion 4-man community. But if you get a group of 3 guys that are your friends, maybe just you and somebody else, you can go in there and just kind of start testing out the mechanics and getting yourself knowledgeable. Even if it's the first area, this is going to give you kind of a wide range of things to do. I think later on during the course of, the next few days, hopefully I'll be able to jump into a team and kind of see how people grapple with it. But I wanted to make sure that I had what was sufficient regarding damage dealing. My next video, my next experiment is going to be damage mitigation, where I'm probably going to be running some of my shield builds. I have a build that I made a video on a while ago. I'll put a notification here. It's called the Poor Man's Shield build, and it's using the Vanguard talent. I think using the Perfect Vanguard or the Vanguard, I can't remember. And when I made this tank build, it really did get a lot of flack or whatever, because I made it for legendaries. Apparently, Vanguard is now a good build for the raid, because if you've watched a lot of the videos, you're going to see a lot of people actually using this. So they use it to proc and buff their entire team to keep people's health bars basically loaded from time to time. So I think many tanks are probably going to be running this. If you have your 4-piece of Foundry Bulwark, you can probably pair it up with something like this. Maybe you can use tardigrade, whatever it is you want to do. But I'll come in here hopefully in a few hours and test that out. But for now, if your DPS numbers are anything close to the builds that I used here, using my 2 Hana-Yu, using my 3 Murakami, I'm not even using Perfect Combined Arms, which is crazy. I'm not even also using Spotter, which many of you have recommended, which is less to me of a risk. And so some of you can actually come in here and actually do that. Now I have my Eagle Bear equipped. That's because I was running out of ammo on my whatchamacallit, on my Harmony weapon, and so that's why you're seeing this. So let me know what you think. I will leave the raw gameplay to continue. It's nothing of much value from what I've said, but if you want to see for yourself and you want to kind of gauge visually what this also looks like and feels like, it is boring gameplay. Sorry, I used my skill build. I wasn't using anything else. Perhaps I can probably try to go in and use a tank build, and you guys can see more face-to-face enemy NPC interaction if that's what you're looking for. But for now, this is what we got. Anyways, thank you so much for your time and audience. I appreciate you guys so much. Stay around, hang around. We'll be bringing some more information and tidbits like this. There's no hurry to do the raid. It's already there in the game, so you can take as much time as you need until you beat it. And so that's it for me. I'll see you all in the next one, hopefully. Peace.
Go! Come out and finish this!